just investing. It's your boy Louis Keys from the West End. Any questions? Whether straight or you lesbian, play this here while I'm dressing. Now put your clothes back on. Hop in the ride, let me take you back home. She say she felt it in her backbone. Pull the ride over, let her hop back on.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land Daily Boxing Talk, people. And today we talking Spence versus Garcia. Spence looked great post-accident. Alright, y'all, so we just got finished watching the Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia fight. It was an awesome fight, man. Errol Spence Jr. looked well, he gave himself a B-, but I would say, you know, with everything that has happened to him in the past year, he looked amazing, you know, in his return. There was a few timing issues, I think, with Spence, and there are a few other things I want to touch on that Spence did that I think, if he doesn't clean them up, you know, it sets him up for other fighters to take advantage of this in the future. And but besides that, you know, I think Errol Spence looked amazing. You know, I in my final prediction video that I did for this fight, I said that there was a possibility that Spence could knock him out, you know, and I think Spence would just kind of wear on him the entire fight. Danny Garcia, take nothing away from him, pretty good fighter, man. He's not on that elite level. I would never say he's an elite guy, but with the attributes he does bring to the table, he does them very well. So shouts out to Danny Garcia, man. Take my hat off to Danny. He put up a good fight with Errol, but at the end of the night, man, Errol did his thing. Errol came out and did what fighters are supposed to do, which is work off the jab. He didn't let Danny crowd him. He didn't let Danny land too many humongous shots, you know, and kind of throw him off. There was a clash of heads in the fight, and I think it threw Spence off a little bit. I think Spence might have actually been rocked from that head, but if Danny Garcia would have jumped on him as soon as it happened, I think Danny Garcia might have actually knocked him down. Not knocked him out, but may have knocked him down. But at that point, you know, I think the referee stepped in at the right moment to separate the fighters, because it was definitely a clash of heads in there. When you think about Errol Spence Jr. and the past year that he's had after the car accident, a lot of people were kind of writing him off. You know, he's saying he's damaged goods, that he won't be the same fighter he was before the accident. And I think that goes to people being what's the right word to use here? I think there's some people who they want certain things to happen, for lack of a better word, and they feel like because something might have affected them personally, if it happened to them, that it's going to affect every person in the same way, which is it completely, you know, it just doesn't work like that. Everybody's different, man. And I would never have counted Errol Spence out in this fight, simply because even after that accident, you got to understand, this is a young guy, you know, he's a young, strong guy, and, you know, normal people to go through a window from a Lamborghini, yeah, that would probably affect it and change their whole life. But this guy has been taking punishment in boxing bouts for a while now, and I'm pretty sure it hurt. You know, I'm pretty sure the accident hurt. You know, by the looks of his face after the accident, I would say, yeah, that hurt, man. That hurt probably really, really bad. But since this guy is a fighter, you know, he's used to taking punishment. He's used to, you know, having things crash into his face, and the fact that he's young, you know, when you're young, you're able to bounce back from certain stuff, and you're able to bounce back from certain stuff really, really quickly, compared to somebody who might have been 36 or somebody that might have been 46. You know, their body has already been through so much damage that taking something like that would be devastating to their whole life, really. And for Errol Spence to be so young, to be a strong young man, you know, and a talented fighter, and just the fact that he's been taking punches for a long time, man, I think the car accident just didn't affect him in the way that it would have affected a normal person. And, you know, I think even a normal person, you know, the average everyday Joe, if they were younger, you know, they can just take a lot more than an older person could. You know, if this was an older guy, like I said, I would have definitely said, okay, going into this fight, Errol Spence is going to be really off. If he was 36, you know, instead of, how old is he? I think he's like 20 something, like late 20s. I would have really said, you know, yeah, this is going to affect him. But since that's not the case here, Errol Spence is young, he's strong, you know, he's got a great mind. The guy doesn't seem like he has too many bad habits. Very likable guy. I just think he's special in that way that he could go through something like a horrible car accident, coming out of the window, hitting the pavement the way he did, and just brush it off, man, and keep it moving, man. You know, shouts out to Errol Spence Jr., man. Let's not take away from what this guy has accomplished, man. You know, this is a great attribute to go under his belt, to say I went through all that and came back and beat an amazing welterweight. Maybe not the most elite level of welterweight in Danny Garcia, but a top level welterweight. And once again, referring to Terence Crawford, you know, these guys over at PBC, they're proven welterweights, man. They might not be the highest level of welterweight, but they are proven fighters. These guys can go in there and bang with the best of them. And so you really have to look at Errol Spence in a different light, with all that being said. And I want to touch on the flaws that I picked up on that Errol Spence has. You know, there's been a lot of talk about him fighting Crawford, him fighting Pacquiao. And with what I saw tonight, although I am very impressed by Errol Spence, there are a few things that he does that I would say he's definitely got to fix these before he moves up to a guy like Pacquiao. I'm not sure if Terence Crawford will be able to take advantage of these same things, but I know Manny Pacquiao, with the experience he has and the quickness he has, would seriously be able to take advantage of the fact that Spence sometimes, like he said, he gets lackadaisical and he starts throwing looping punches, and he goes in with these looping punches with his hands down, and Danny caught him a couple of times while he did that. But what I like that he did is he caught, because Danny's not a quick fighter, he's more of a flat-footed brawler. He was able to keep spinning Danny, and he spent him one time so bad that I don't even think Danny knew where he was at. But he was like standing right next to him, just punching him in the side of the head. I wish I could show all the footage from the fight, but you know, with YouTube the way it is, I can only give you certain portions of it. But he definitely had turned Danny at one point in the fight. I'm gonna do a full fight breakdown of this. This is just something quick I wanted to put together. But he had turned Danny so bad, man, and it was so funny that Danny was just ducking because he didn't know where he was at. But Earl was just teeing off on the side of his head, man. But if you try that with a guy like Pacquiao, you try to throw these looping, really wide punches, even though he's very long, Spence is very long, and he's able to catch guys like in the body from very far away. If you try that with a speedy, foot speed type of guy or hand speed type of guy, that's a mistake, because a guy like Pacquiao is really going to take advantage of that, man. Let me know what y'all think of that down below. What do y'all think of the fight? Did y'all enjoy it? Did Errol Spence look great in his return? Let me know down in the comment section, man. It's your boy Cardinal Red, man. Like always, believe in yourself, follow your dreams, and your dreams will come true. Like always, tell everybody you know about Cardinal Red and Ollie Lamb Boxing Talk. Your mama, your daddy, your dog, your cat, the man on the moon. We're trying to grow the platform as big as we can get it, and with your help, this is possible. It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we out of here.
Shit like it is what it is. Nah, I ain't one to trick, I'm just investing. It's your boy Louis Keys from the West End. Any questions? Whether straight or you lesbian, play this here while I'm dressing. Now put your clothes back on. Hop in the ride, let me take you back home. She say she felt it in her backbone.